Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the four elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now, while you got niggas, Jake, that's, they totally distracted right now, because you had an incident that went viral on the Corey Holcomb 5150 show. And now every single platform in the nigger realm, they all are debating whether, Corey stood his ground or if he ducked the fade with Anton Daniels. And a bunch of, entertaining bullshit, that's only keeping Jake further distracted from what the enemy is doing. All right. But what's happening within the country, here in Babylon the Great, this is the type of energy that you're going to continue to see, and you're going to see it amplified throughout these last days up until the Lord returns. All right, he's going to turn up the energy, that wrath that we saw 2,000 years ago from the red dragon. You're going to see that from here on out until the Lord comes back. He's going to keep that same energy. All right. If you remember going back, when the Lord was on the scene, when the apostles was on the scene, you had the Roman Empire, they were imperial power, and you had the spiritual demon Satan, who basically utilized them as a tool to oppress and persecute Israel. And at that particular time, you had the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And that when you understand that history, then you can understand when it says up in the first few verses of Revelation, the 12th chapter, it talks about that red dragon, all right, that would basically use his tail to be casted after the three stars, and that they would basically be brought down to the earth. And those three, that third part of those three stars, it represents the southern kingdom, which consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because at that time, they were being oppressed and persecuted. You had the Herodians, and they were pretty much backed by the Roman power, the Roman authorities, to be able to persecute. All right, so that same red beast, he's back today in his lot. Like the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, can you turn a crooked serpent? Can you make it straight? Obviously you can't do that. All right, his nature has always been what it is. So this is what we're seeing. All right, this whole situation with these ICE agents and them being granted full immunity and an incentive to do what they're doing. This is that same entity, that red dragon, that beast. Revelation 13 and 11. All right, that dragon. All right, well, he saw it as it was a beast having two horns like a lamb, but it spake as a dragon. So it's coming in the same spirit of that red dragon, that beast. All right. So anyway, this is from the Colbert, Stephen Colbert show, and listen to what he actually say. This is the reality under this current regime, this current administration. All right, this is we're clearly under a dictatorship. All right, full, all out totalitarianism. Listen to this.
Message from this administration is clear. Only they determine the truth. And when their forces come to your city, obey or die. And if you die, you clearly didn't obey. This should be an alarm bell for the entire country, whether you live in a red state or a blue state. Because if we let this go on, regardless of who your state voted for, one day you'll have unaccountable armed government agents acting with impunity in your town. So peacefully and non-violently, please let your leaders know you don't want that.
So this is clear reality. All right. And, you know, Jake is over here talking about Corey Holcomb versus Anton Daniels. Do you niggas not see what's happening inside the country you reside? And that's why the scriptures say, you know, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Somebody got to be sober enough to pay attention and see, what's befalling. All right. This animal, this beast, this demon. All right. He's on one. All right. And of course, like we quote Revelation 12:12, dealing with that same red devil, that dragon. All right. It says the devil shall come down unto you having great wrath, knowing that he hath but a short time. Back in the ancient Roman Empire, you had Herod. He was persecuting, and he especially before the Lord came. You could read about the account in Matthew when he had all the Israelite baby male children under the age of 2 years old. He had them all slain because he feared that the Messiah was present. All right. And then you follow it up with, the Roman Caesars that was banishing Israel, because there was a nuisance, to the Roman public. All right. Because they was, preaching Yahushua, and it was getting out of hand. There was a lot of riots and, debates and all kind of stuff going on. You had certain Israelites that believed on Messiah. They was getting banished. Then all the way up to the besieging of Jerusalem, when the Roman armies finally came down and waged war and sieged us. So that same energy, all right, Esau is going to come in he's in that same mood under this current cruel Lord, this fierce king. All right. So they're sending a message through this agency. ICE is going around. They're making their rounds in these cities. You've had a couple people that have been killed so far. And the people that's out there protesting in the street, they don't realize that they are in danger, because now with them being given that full immunity, they can do what they want. They can abuse the authority that they have now. All right. And that's what's happening. So let me do this now. Let's go here. And let me play something. Now this is from the previous summer. And somebody actually recorded an ICE agent. So listen to this real quick.
I rights to talk, bro.
You got no right here.
I do.
Illegal, brother. Get up. I was born and raised here. What about you? I was born and raised here. I have the right to talk.
Okay, all right. I'm starting to resist more now.
We're gonna end up shooting. Just remember, you can smell that too with a $30,000 ball.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit which side you're on. That should not be okay. Okay, I don't give a fuck if you're red. I don't give a fuck if you're blue. That is an American citizen, 18-year-old boy, getting arrested by ICE, again, American citizen, being told by ICE that he has no rights. And in the commotion, his phone drops while it's still recording, and it picks up the officers later stating that these people that they're arresting are resisting more, so soon they might have to start pew-pewing them. They then go on to joke about the 30K bonus, say things like, that's funny. Our ICE agents should not be operating like this. They should not be taking joy in their own destruction and then celebrating a 30K bonus, laughing about all of this. Saying, oh, they've been resisting more often. Looks like we're going to have to start shooting them. That's crazy. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
So with this type of stuff coming out and seeing their behavior, this is why they got to cover their faces up. You know, because if they get revealed, you know, people are going to be doxing them. People are going to, you know, put their residency on online. And they're basically going to, their lives are going to be targeted. But this type of shit that's going on, this is what causes and sparks sedition. It sparks insurrection. All right. Because now war is being waged on civilians. And Trump can give two shits. Head chef, Stephen Miller, they can give two shits. They with all of this, man. So understand your reality right now. The hell with Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels and the nigga shit that they got going on. All right, this is real serious business. All right, we're literally coming to that time of Jacob's trouble. Remember, the Lord said the kingdom the kingdom of heaven comes with observation, and they suffer violence. All right, that's who's the kingdom. It starts with you, the people, Israel. You're suffering violence just like back then. It's happening now. So Jake better wake the hell up. All right, Romans 13:11, and now is high time to awake out of sleep. For your salvation is nearer than when we believed. Is we getting ready to have another blood moon? Well, they're signaling the third woe. There's another blood moon is getting ready to show. So these are the Lord is leaving all type of signs. So the Lord's gonna start making moves, man. Now let me go here now, because it's all type of incidences that are just starting to occur consecutively, and this is what they want. They want to spark the chaos so that they can bring in the order. All right, this is what they've been known to do. Order out of chaos. We already know this. So let me play this one. There's another incident that happened recently while they were out there protesting. Bear with me.
MPD right here. Yeah, they just were guiding EMS into the house. This is the vehicle that the man that I talked to said that he had taken and put his kids into to get them out of the neighborhood. And I started throwing flashbangs and tear gas under the vehicle. And he said that his 6-month-old stopped breathing. And now he's inside the house with EMS. MPD.
So just look at this behavior, man. Second Ezra 16. All right, let me grab that. You know, and if you do anything about this, if you decide to stand up, guess what? The president, the commander-in-chief, he has the authority to enact the Insurrection Act, and he just threatened today, actually, that he was going to enable the Insurrection Act. If y'all try to take matters into your own hands, that's the next step. All right, so hey, we got a madman in office, and he's definitely being charged. He has that battery in his back by Satan. Okay. Second Ezra 16 and verse 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. All right, and this is what they're doing already. But this is on a lower scale. It's going to get worse, especially if they decide to deploy the troops, the military troops in. Because under the Insurrection Act, that's the only exception where they can actually override the Posse Comitatus Act, which actually prevents the president from using the military to enforce civilian law enforcement upon them. All right. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. All right. So them going door to door now and using ICE agents, they're just setting the stage for when they really start coming down. Okay. And that's when our faith is going to be tested, because some of us, they're going to take us, like it says in Revelation 2:10, for the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried 10 days, but be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. So some of us going to have to go through that. Okay. But this devil is not going to win. This is just all part of that time of trouble, which the scriptures constantly warned. Let me get Matthew 24. It's Matthew 24, verse 12. Verse Salakia. Let me hold up. Yeah, here we go. Matthew 24. And I'm going to start at verse 19. It says, and woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. And we're in the winter right now. You know what I'm saying? And they've taken, snatching people out of their homes. And these are people, you know, because they're able to profile you. And they're only going after one specific people. And that's you tribes. All right, you fit the profile. All right, don't let them hear you speaking a accent, a Spanish accent. And they're gonna hem you up, man. All right, but hey, they're not going just after the northern; they coming after the southern too. All right, so hey, it's persecution time. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the Lord's going to have to, you know, which he's doing. That's why these days are going by so quick. Everything is going to move so quickly. All right. And that's why I said in Habakkuk, you know, the vision was yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. It will surely come, it will not tarry. All right. And this is all simultaneously happening while they're getting ready to go after Iran. All right. That's, you know, one of the final prophecies that's going to lead to the war of Armageddon. Is what's going to cause these nations to be drawn into war. The least of the flock shall draw them out. So this is why we have to stay sober and stay upon our watch to keep watch, because these things they're all escalating, showing you that this word is true. So let me go from there. And this is the article. All right, Minneapolis live updates. Trump says he will invoke Insurrection Act if state politicians don't obey the law. Right? So here we go. And then of course the governor, he talked about deploying guards against ICE. So this is fueling that whole Civil War divided spirit, which the Lord said would happen. All right, Isaiah 19 and 2. All right, Egyptian versus Egyptian, and that's the energy, because people finna start getting sick and tired, man. And America is the most armed country in the world. So when you read Second Ezra, this was it the 15th chapter, where it talks about how you're gonna have a sedition among men and invading one another. One people shall fight against another with swords in their hands. Hey, it makes sense that would occur here, because everybody got swords. Everybody has a weapon, a firearm that they own. All right, and you was given that Second Amendment right to be able to defend yourself against the government. So now it's a divide. As Trump said in a Thursday post on Truth Social that he would invoke the Insurrection Act if Minnesota politicians don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE. And you say this after they didn't kill people, they didn't kill civilians, and they're being incentivized. They're just like during 2020, those nurses. When they diagnosed people with the Windows 19 and was putting them on those defibrillators, it was said that they was getting incentivized. They was getting extra bonuses for each person that died. So now you got these agents. If they take somebody out, I'm pretty sure they're getting bonuses for it. So this is contracted killing. It says, who are only trying to do their job. Wow. The Insurrection Act, a rarely used 1807 law, gives the president the authority to deploy the military domestically without prior congressional approval. The Department of Homeland Security said a federal officer shot a Venezuelan man in the leg in Minneapolis last night after he allegedly fled following a traffic stop and attacked the officer. That's, of course they're going to put that narrative out there, but show the footage. The shooting came a week after an immigration and customs enforcement officer shot dead 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good in the city, sparking local and nationwide protests and vigils. Protests have continued, with federal agents using tear gas and flashbangs on the streets of Minneapolis. Footage showed protesters launching fireworks at officers, and some of them are agent provocateurs. All right, we know how this devil gets down. Pressure from above, pressure from below. All right, so they'll send these agents of chaos into these crowds to start the looting, the rioting, or attacking officers. Okay, so we in that time of instability. Like Yahushua said, when you shall hear of wars and commotions, just know that it's not the end yet. So we're gonna see instability, disorder, civil unrest. These people are not happy. Around 3,000 federal agents have been sent to Minnesota in what the DHS says is the biggest operation in its history. The city has about 600 police officers, Mayor Jacob Frey said. And then in certain states, you got the local police departments defending people against ICE. So just wait till that turns into something. You got local law enforcement fighting against a federal agency. It's gonna get crazy in these streets, these Babylonian streets, man. But we in that time, man. We're not in the time of peace. We're not in the time of love. We're in the time of war, man. All right. So prepare yourselves. Let me We go to Jeremiah 30. And there ain't no bargaining or reasoning with them. Like these ICE agents, they're acting like Manchurian candidates. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them already got the brain implant, the way that they're behaving. You know, where's your humanity at? Where's your compassion? You know, where's your reasoning? Jeremiah 30:7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And let me go back to that in 2nd Ezra 16. I'm going to read 71 again. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Because this is going to be that time of trouble where our faith is going to be tested. All right, and if you're faced with death, you got to accept it, because you're standing on your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You're not going to bow your knee to the image of the beast. And right now, he's in the mode of, well, if you don't obey the beast, you should be killed. I know in Revelation 13 it says that he that will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Well, they're going to expect you to comply, obey, and then eventually worship. They're not going to take no for an answer. You're going to obey by any means necessary. Okay? It says, hear, O you my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, Jacob's trouble, but I will deliver you from the same. Okay? So that's why we just got to, fall into the hands of the Lord. All right? Because at the end of the day, we can't forget that the Lord, he's going to justify his very elect. And it also says that when he shall come upon you like a flood, he shall lift up a standard against them. So we can't forget about that either. The Lord's going to have to come down with that divine intervention, because he wants to play with his blessing. He wants to use it to the max. He just needs that reason, and then that wrath that he's coming down with, he's eventually going to start using them. I know y'all all heard about that that instrument, that weapon that they used in Venezuela to be able to abduct Maduro. But when they used it, they said them soldiers, they just fainted, collapsed, and blood was coming out of their mouth, coming out of their nose. So this thing is serious. But like the prayer of David, arise ye, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Because he's going to come down with it. So, that's pretty much that. And of course, you're going to have, like I mentioned, you're going to have that insurrection, revolutionary spirit. Because now you got groups like the Black Panther Party coming out. Which, y'all, come on now. we already saw how this went, decades ago. All right. And who knows if these chapters are set up as well, bought and paid for. And they're coming out like clockwork. Just the timing of it all, because you never really hear or see of them until these type of occurrences happen. And it's right on cue. But hey, going back to the Roman Empire, you had that zealot spirit then as well, where you had the revolutionaries. All right? And that's what led to those Roman Jew wars, where you had the zealots, the Sicarii and all them. They was fighting against, they're standing up against the Romans. They didn't want to pay taxes. So it led to a war. So, you're gonna have Jake that's gonna go that route. They're gonna go the carnal route. They're gonna arm themselves and they're gonna think that they can fight it out carnally, even though the scriptures say to be carnally minded is death. A carnal mind is enmity. But everybody got to play their role, their lot. But it's going down, man. So just continue to be alert, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right. So be circumspect, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. And I'm going to end on that note. I'm going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.